Hey guys, I want to send out a little video here for everybody. So, just to help with recruiting and some of the things that have come up with our guys who are incoming seniors who are either not being recruited or under recruited right now. I wanted to help you guys out to show you a little bit about the process of how exactly things happen because the next 8 months until March, April are going to be very important for exactly what happens and how things get done for you. So the first thing we got to understand that it's not late in the game right now if you're not signed with somebody. So I got Max over here. I got Max. I'm watching Max. I'm in Florida at a convention for my wife, and I'm watching Max. So if you see me look over there, it's because I'm watching Max. So, but if you're under recruited or haven't had any calls or invites or anything right now, it's not the end of the game for you. You got to understand that recruiting budgets and the recruiting process has changed over the years as to when teams can how they look for players, how they find them, and we certainly can help with this process. And I'll explain our role in a little bit. But the first thing is to make a list of potential schools that you're interested in. The old this team's recruiting me and the courtship and all that stuff is kind of, I'm not saying it's not alive. For the bigger schools it is, but for smaller schools it isn't. They're very limited as to how they can find guys. So how do we make this list? Well, we have to consider all these things. How far are you willing to go? Okay. Do you have budget concerns? Because like Division III colleges are going to have zero scholarships and are going to be on the more expensive side. Obviously, there's student loans and grants and stuff like that, and academic money is given at those schools. So that's something to consider if they have your major. Religious reasons, like are some schools, especially NAIA schools, they require their students to go to chapel multiple times a week and take biblical classes, stuff like that. So are you willing to do that? Or is that something you're looking for? Like you're looking for it, you're willing to do it, you don't want to do it at all. That's a way to make your list closer, better. So I'm going to get on junior colleges here in a second, but so when we're making out this list, we want to make sure that we familiarize ourselves with all the schools that are within the distance that we're talking, that that are in our academic area, okay, and then take those considerations of religion, academics, majors, your budget, and then draw a map. And within that map, say these are the types of schools I'm looking for. Okay, so you have Division I, Division II, Division III, okay, and then you have NAIA, and then junior college. Now, that's not an order of baseball talent because NAIA, the high NAIAs are as good as most Division II schools, especially in the Midwest, and then JUCOs in most cases are better than Division IIIs and provide opportunity to play at the higher levels from there. So right now, the group of kids we're talking to, we don't have any Division I players yet in our program in our older teams right now. To do that, we have a few guys who could be like JUCO to D1 or JUCO to D2. But most of our guys are potential D2 guys, NAIA or high NAIA guys, or Division III and JUCO guys. Okay, and don't take this as a slap in the face or just realistic, because Division Ones have had their recruiting class for a year now, full. So if you're not in that mix, you're not going to just all of a sudden join that mix this late. Okay, so Real quick on junior colleges, I want to talk about, there's a lot of pros and a couple cons. For one, a lot of people think that academically it holds you back, which is complete hogwash, right? Like, I have a great friend who went to junior college and then played college basketball, and he's a doctor now, and he didn't slow him down on his journey to being a doctor. He was a doctor in the same 8 years every other doctor is. He went 2 years doing a junior college. So in most cases, it actually helps your academics because, one, it's slightly easier. School, it's a good adjustment period to learn about college, and it also helps you. Your GPA and your school and your grades start off at a good level. You also tend to get an associate's degree in 2 years, which helps you get a bachelor's degree faster in 4 years. At most big schools, Michigan State, Western Michigan, wherever, you're taking general classes anyway, which are the same class you're going to be taking at junior colleges. So from a baseball standpoint, the pros are it's like walking into a room with a bunch of doors. And however high you take your game in that 2 year period, in some cases just a 1 year period, you can open doors to all schools. I know all D1s, D2s, they want college ready players to bring in. When most kids who are going to Michigan State, freshmen, they're not just going to come in there and make a major impact. They're going to pay their dues, lift weights, get their grades going in their first year or two of college baseball. Not many guys are going to come in and make an immediate impact. So a lot of junior college kids come into Division I and Division II programs as starters. Or NAI, it doesn't matter. Whatever level you leave junior college to go, you're going to be an impact player because you're going to be more mature upperclassmen at that K. So Max is holding in there. So, the cons to a junior college is it's a lot of self-motivated, self-time it's a test on your time management. And it's you got to work hard on your own. The coaching can be good, but a lot of it's going to rely on your own work ethic and put in the work you're doing. But again, it's 1 to 2 years of that work for that really great opportunity that you're not getting yet, because now you're going to go out and they're constantly getting recruited from junior colleges. If you happen to be a guy who ends up being a pro, junior college, like almost 40% of professionals played in junior college. It's just a great stepping stone to a higher level of baseball. And just because your kid at 15 or 16 wasn't super, jumping off the charts in certain areas of the game, it doesn't mean they can't make up for that when they're older. Because the majority of development in baseball happens from 18 years old to 22 years old, and it shows you that every Major League Baseball team takes about 20 to 25 high school kids every year out of the draft that aren't anywhere near ready to be pros, and they want to develop those kids on their own because they know that that age frame is the biggest gains can be made. So you can be behind the scale of a Division I, Division II player and go to junior college and kill it in the weight room, kill your skill set, get better at the game, and make up that ground easily at that time, okay? Regardless of where you go and what you do, we're talking about experience, because the college baseball experience for me and for Joe and Jay, all these guys, they'll tell you that they still have friends. The experience was great in itself. So sometimes, like, hey, I just want to go to a Siena Heights or a 4-year school right away and stay there. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. As a matter of fact, is you're going to make the experience how great you're going to make your own adventure there. So once you familiarize yourself with all the possible schools, and we can help you with that. If you're missing some or whatever, for the levels you think that you're at, and we can also help you that and say, hey, I recommend you look up NAIA schools, junior colleges in Michigan and Indiana, or we can help you with that. That doesn't take long. You need to familiarize yourself with those schools and what they offer from an education standpoint and such, and then get on their website and fill out their questionnaires. Almost every college baseball program has a questionnaire right on their website. Not only fill out their questionnaires, personally email and personally call if the phone numbers are on there, but personally email from the player, not the parents. your information, your GPA, all the vitals. So when you graduate, your height, weight, if you know your speeds, any measurables you know, any statistics you have, they're going to ask for them. Don't be afraid to brag, but be honest. Have that stuff ready. And then most importantly, you got to have some video on yourself, okay? So I know Chad Cook has set up with Eric Manjera, who's the head coach at Rochester High School, on kind of an impromptu video session on Monday. It's like $50 for the video shoot and $50 to edit it. It's a good $100 to spend. If you don't want to do it with them, I recommend you find a way to get some video on yourself. No matter, even if it's just cell phone video of you at a cage, we got to get some video on you out and ready to get out to these schools, okay? Most importantly, most of those schools are gonna invite you to a camp. You need to go to these camps. These are not just money grabs. These are the way this is how they recruit nowadays, okay? That's why your list is important of where you want to go to narrow it down so you don't have to go to 500 camps this fall and this winter. Narrow it down as you're going and then find the right ones to go to, okay? So you need to stay in shape at this time of year. This is the one year you do not need a break from baseball. This is the time where it's time to stay in shape, play in the fall. You do not have to play with us. Find somewhere else to play. That's fine, but got to play this fall. Because in our fall program is definitely going to put you in front of a bunch of college guys. But if you want to play somewhere else, that's fine too. You need to stay in shape. Also for those camps, so you're in shape when those camps come. Okay? Now, where do we step in? Joe, Jay, me in particular, and then anybody else in our program, is our role is to endorse you once those college coaches come back. We can help you make your list. We can help you decide, like lower your list. We could tell you what level we think you are. We could tell you who to target. But in the end, once you decide who you're targeting and stuff, once you familiarize yourself with those schools, once you fill out the questionnaires and email, those coaches are going to call us anyway. Those coaches are going to get a hold of us anyway, because in your emails and stuff to them, you need to let them know that Joe and I for sure and our staff is who to get a hold of. That's when we endorse you. And they're still going to ask you to come to their camp, right? Video, our endorsement, they're still going to want to see you in person. And that, in a nutshell, is the beginning part of the process. Now, after that, it's just a courtship. It just becomes between you and the school, getting on campus for a visit, talking major, talking money as far as academics. If it's a D3, just academics. If it's an NAI, JUCO, or D2, talking athletic money and academic money. But that process, it's a long process. It starts now if you haven't started it. And it's not too late. It's not too late to do it, but it is time to roll up your sleeves and do it. I have a feeling, like we've heard from a few people, like we're not sure we're going to play next year unless we know we're playing in college. And I can't, respectfully, I got to tell you that's just backwards, because you're going to have to help yourself play in college right now. You've already put 6, 7, 8 years of work into your personal development. So why not 6, 8 more months worth of it? It's going to cost you a little bit of money to go to college camps. It's going to cost a little investment here and there. If your kid doesn't love the game and doesn't want to put in some time to get better in the weight room, get better at their game, continue to play and stay in shape for these camps, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's respectful. You've had a respectful run at it. If you do want to play in college, like this is a basic guide. I just did it because instead of sending out an email, I feel like seeing me talk you through it or whatever, and it could lead to some questions or whatever, I'd be glad to answer. But the work, it's going to take some work. And people, there is one player who is in our program right now who, all on his own, is doing a ton of work, and he's opening up a lot of doors for himself. And he might not be that much more talented than anybody else who I'm speaking to right now. So, like I said, if you have any questions, you need help making this list, you need more explanation about this list, give me a call or an email. But the first thing is geographically get that area you want to go to. If it's a huge area, then I can help you like with what sort of schools to target. Fill out those questionnaires. Personally email from the player. All the contact to the coach should be from the player. No more parents. You can help them, but it's got to come from them. And then call if you can, if their number's posted, okay? They're going to invite you to the camp. Stay in shape. Be ready for those camps. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.